Welcome to the Soulfire Podcast, where every day we talk about real life, real shit, real raw. On this show, you can expect us to dive deep into topics like marriage, parenting, money, business, feeling like you want to give up, fighting for yourself, just straight soul healing. This podcast is all about life. Hey there, it's Power Coach Alicia here, your source of fun, funny, exciting, entertaining, and educational life coaching, transformational speaking, and soul healing. We're talking about setting your soul on fire. I specialize in helping women put themselves first without feeling guilty, getting out of their own way, and finding themselves again. No fluff, no hand-holding, no bullshit here, just love, light, and peace as we journey through this thing called life. Welcome back to the Soulfire Podcast. Today I want to talk to you about something that I have been doing for, I guess we're at maybe 6-7 weeks now. I don't know, somewhere in there since there was 5 weeks in January. And I started on December 28th. So before I tell you what it is, first I want to tell you that the one thing about me that people always find so like crazy, cool, amazing is that when I decide something, I start right then. I start right in the moment of that decision. And if there's any advice that I can give you as far as relieving pressure and stress and overwhelm from yourself, it's to make fast decisions. Make fast decisions. So if you are at a place listening to this episode where you can write that down, write it down. Make fast decisions. You go into your ing, and what does it say? Is it a hell yes or a hell no? And if in that space you're like, I don't know, like I feel like it's a maybe, ask yourself this. On a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being hell no, 10 being hell yes, where do I fall? Don't allow yourself to choose a 5. Think about it. If you hit a 5, ask yourself, am I more a 4 or am I more a 6? Whatever your answer comes from there, that's how you move forward, right? And that's with every single thing you do. There should never be analysis paralysis when it comes to decision making. And it's one of the things that I've always been so proud of myself with. One of the things that I love about myself is when I make a decision, I make it right then. I'm all in, I'm all out, and that's it. There is none of that like overthinking and overanalyzing. There was a very short amount of time in my life where I would sit in decision making, and it was the most angst and like, oh my gosh, confusing and back and forth and just like all over the place that I have ever been in my entire life. And it really causes so many internal things that just isn't necessary. So make fast decisions. Back to my point. So I always make fast decisions, and usually around December time is when I get on, sometimes October, November, December, somewhere in that point, I get on this mentality track that I want to become healthier. And I have done all sorts of things to become healthy. And this is one of the only things that I'm going to be sharing with you in this episode that has made such a world of difference for me, and that I highly, highly, highly recommend. That if you want to get healthier or you want to lose weight and inches and just feel so good inside your body, that you absolutely go at this, give it a go, be dedicated to it. I would say for 90 days before you really decide whether or not it's for you, and also give yourself some grace along the journey if you're not perfect at it. So that is intermittent fasting. So if you've seen my post on Facebook, I've been talking about my weight loss with intermittent fasting, but it's so much more than just a weight loss. So in today's episode, it's not going to be as much about educating you on intermittent fasting as talking to you about my journey in losing weight, being a curvy person, coming from lineage of my family that's curvy, and why I feel like this has been so amazing for me and why I absolutely decided to share it with you. So before I get too deep into this, I've just got to grab my book here. I do highly recommend that you snag the book Fast, Feast, Repeat by Jen Stevens. This will be in the description of this episode, so you can easily click the link and just read through it to connect with what fasting does for your body, the scientific stuff. She talks about doing a 28-day fast start, which I started fasting before I even got this book. I literally got this book a couple days ago, and I started my fasting journey on December 28th of 2021. So when I make a decision, like I said, I jump right in. I'm not going to wait for a book to get here. I'm not going to wait to read the book. I'm not going to create any barriers to success, right? So write that down too. Don't create barriers to my success, because that's what happens in the brain. You make a decision, right? So there's step one is making quick decisions. Hell yes or hell no. Then when you're a hell yes, it's about where am I going to get the money from, or what knowledge do I need first? Who do I need to contact? Who do I need to talk to? Who do I need to get approval from? When you're a hell yes, it's hell yes action. Not just hell yes decision, but hell yes action. So I went all in December 28th and then finally got this fucking book the other day. No big deal. We're all the way in February now. Does not matter that I didn't read any of this. I got the baseline of what I needed from joining a quick group on Facebook, which I will link my favorite one in the description of this podcast as well. I got the information from there. I get my inspiration from the before and afters. And then I went and downloaded 3 apps, and I went through each of them. I read through each of them. I, put my information, and I decided which one I wanted to work with going forward. So the next thing that I'm going to link is my app of choice, which is called Fastic. Like Fastic, almost like fantastic, but Fastic. Okay. So I will link that as well. I'm sure it's available on Android and iPhone. So I'll just link the website, and then you guys can, download it all, whatever. But anyways, so like I said, I'll link the app, I'll link the group, and I will link the book. But listen, you don't need any of that really to get started. I mean, the app is probably best. You get education in the app, and you can get going. So my app says I'm at day 35, but I started this app 2 days later. So I'm at day 37 of my fasting. So let me explain to you why I'm telling you this. I've done everything you can think of. I've done Nutrisystem's Optavia, or I call it Optavia. Well, I don't know how the fuck do you pronounce it. I have done keto. I mean, I've just done every fucking thing you can possibly think of within my realm of what I'm willing to do. So I've never been on the egg diet, but I did do like the juicing back in the day when Sick, Fat, and Nearly Dead was on Netflix. I don't know if you remember that special, but then it was like all about juicing and did it. I seriously have done so many different things. In my journey to lose weight, the thing that worked for me the best, that was also the most unhealthy, was counting calories, running, and Zumba, all 3 of those. So some days I would burn 1,800 calories because I would go for a 9-mile run and then go to Zumba the next, later that night. And my calories for the day would be, 1,300 calories that I could eat. And so I would be in this crazy fucking deficit. And I did lose a chunk of weight. And at the time I didn't need to lose a lot. So it was more like 35 pounds. I think I was like 220 when I started. And then I got down to like 190. So I guess that's only 30 pounds, right? But I looked so freaking good. However, I didn't do it in a very healthy or sustainable way. And so in my journey to lose weight, I've constantly been back and forth on counting calories and running. Well, now there is no running, not with my knees. Zumba, hell yes. Like getting back into dancing, which I'm adding to my schedule this week. So funny, as I'm recording this podcast episode, I just realized that I wanted to start dancing today, and I totally forgot, like completely spaced it because it's not in my realm. So I need to put it up on my whiteboard in my room to make sure that I do that. But anyways, I'm adding dancing in this week and just bringing in that level of exercise. I won't run anymore because it's just so bad for my knees and my hips, and it's really kicking their ass. But getting out for a walk and dancing is going to be my main sources of exercise. And then for my body being healthy, it's fasting. So there's all different timelines that you can use for fasting. And everybody, always asks me what I'm doing. So Today, I'm going to give you the breakdown on what I'm doing and how great it's been for me. And then we'll also talk about how my mom started in fasting because of where she was at. And then you've got to decide where you're going to be. You can start at all different numbers, but today is going to be what I did in my guidelines. And again, if you really want to jump into this and go deeper, click the link in the description of this podcast and grab that book. But I have loved feeling more energetic. Like when I first got into fasting in December, I just felt so, I guess the only way to verbalize it would be lazy. I didn't feel like doing anything. I didn't feel like taking any action. I didn't feel like working. I didn't feel like contacting clients and interacting with people and doing my lives and my training and my coaching sessions with my one-on-one clients. I just had no fucking motivation. I didn't feel depressed or down. It was just like, that sort of energy. And I didn't know that fasting would give you energy because, as I said, I didn't do a lot of research before I went hell yes. I was like, well, fuck it. If it works from not eating and I feel better, I'll keep going. So I just jumped in. So I really want you to know I didn't have a lot of information when it was a hell yes for me. It was a hell yes because to me, it looked so easy. And overall, it's been one of the easiest things that I've ever done as far as losing weight. And I have been curvy most of my life. Even when I was skinny, I was still the curviest person in class. So growing up, probably hitting, that 6th, 7th, 8th grade mark, I was the biggest in my class while still being skinny. And I just maintained that curviness. And then after having children, I lost all that weight in 2012, 2013, doing the running and the Zumba and the counting calories. But man, that was just like, it was so not good for me. I felt great, but overall, it wasn't good for my body in the way that I did in all the things. So anyways, back to fasting. I feel so great. And within, I would say 7, maybe 10 days, I noticed such a huge difference in how my body physically felt. Meaning if I touched my hips, I could feel a difference in me touching my own hips. I could feel a difference in my hands. I usually cross my fingers a lot when I'm like talking or just chilling, whatever. I could literally feel the inflammation in my fingers because I have severe arthritis. I know that I do. I don't need to be diagnosed that way. I just know the way that it feels. I guess it's called rheumatoid arthritis. I mean, it's severe where my fingers just swell up if they get bumped the wrong way. They just totally swell. I mean, it's just crazy the amount of arthritis that I have in my hands and the inflammation. And the same thing with my feet. They are the same way. And so it was one of the first things that I noticed was how thin my fingers felt. I actually have really thin fingers. However, with the arthritis and how swollen they felt or how swollen they were, it just, you couldn't even see the thinness anymore. My feet were starting to feel so much better. I noticed that I would be walking around with no slippers on. And before, like 100% of the time I had slippers on my feet because it gave me that padding so that they didn't hurt. I will say, in addition to this, to be completely honest with you, the other amazing thing that I've done for myself is get on liquid collagen. And the liquid collagen I use is unbelievable. I so fucking recommend the liquid collagen I'm on. So I can get you that link as well. And that will be in the description of the show notes too. But I mean, between the liquid collagen and the fasting, my body feels completely different. I can literally feel my bones in my hips. Now, hear what I said. I didn't say my waist. I said in my hips. And my hips is where I personally carry a lot of my weight. But I can feel my bones there. When I lay on my side, I can feel the difference. When I'm standing up, I can feel the difference. I see the difference in the mirror when I get ready because I wear leggings probably 95% of the time. And the shirt that I wear generally is more clingy. So I can see what's going on in my body all the time, whether I'm the curviest of curvy or starting to lose weight. And I see such a big difference in the formation of my body. So I've gone from being more round to being so much more defined. And so my body is just releasing all of the fat that it's been storing all of these years that it no longer needs. And it's just been so great. Like I said, my energy is so much better. My body looks really, really good. My face and my neck has slimmed down so much. And I just love this journey. And again, we're at what I say, 37 days. We're not crazy. And I haven't even been perfect on the journey. Some days, I would probably say in 35 days, there has been 5 or 6 times that I have been in fasting mode and I still chose to eat a snack. And it was late at night when you shouldn't be snacking. So 11, 12, 1 a.m. at the time that I ate it. It has not been about perfection for me in this journey. It's always about that progress. Remember that. And so now I'm going to run down with you my plan for fasting and how I have been able to do it for myself and do it in such a way that my body is just easing into it in a very good flow. So, what the first thing that I did was I decided to start at 16:8. The first number is always how many hours you fast. The second number is always how many hours you're eating. So I first, for 2 straight weeks, did 16:8. 16 hours of fasting, 8 hours of eating. And I chose my eating time to be between 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. because at the time I felt like I love night snacking. So I'm going to start eating later so I can still snack into the night, so to speak. Okay. So 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. was my eating window. And then 8 p.m. to 2 p.m. the next day was my fasting window. So that's where I started. And I did that for 2 weeks. Then I moved to 17-17. 17-7, excuse me. 17 hours of fasting, 7 hours of eating for 2 weeks. Kept my eating window starting at 2 p.m., ending at 9 p.m. Then about a week ago, I just crossed into my 18-6. 18 hours of fasting, 6 hours of eating. 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. is my eating window, okay? So I keep my starting window at 2 p.m., it's ending at 8 p.m. And that's why I think I have eaten more during my fasting window now than I did previous, because now my fasting window has been pulled back 2 hours. So I have 2 hours less of eating. And that's where, I've gone into that eating a couple of times, but for the most part, I've done such a great job. So at the current time that I'm recording this, I'm at an 18-6. Okay. 18 hours of fasting, 6 hours of eating. In one more week, so I'll do one more week of this. So I'm doing it in 2-week chunks and I'm working my way to 1 meal a day. And then I will decide from there where I want to go after that. And the reason why I'm working myself to 1 meal a day is because I want to keep my body guessing. So over the 90 days, I'm chunking that time down that I eat to 1 meal a day. So it'll get to the point where I'm fasting for about 22 hours and then I'm eating for a 1 to 2 hour mark. So I'll be fasting 22 to 23 hours and then I'll be eating, like I said, that 1 to 2 hours. And I might do a couple, 24-hour fasts after that, which I can't believe I'm saying that because I never thought I would be able to get to a 24-hour fast because I'm a very hangry person. I have hypoglycemia. I get sick as fuck. I start to shake. I feel like I'm going to throw up. And I also am very hangry. Like when I am extra hungry, I want to kill everybody, divorce my husband, blow up my house, run away, right? Like that's the type of person I am. But in this fasting journey, and because I've done it this way, I've had a couple of moments where I felt extra hungry. I would probably say 5 times, maybe 6 times in 37 days where I felt like really hungry, but I haven't been irritable or irritated or frustrated or furious any time during this entire journey. And so I think that is such a huge success as well, that I have had so much success in it not triggering my hypoglycemia or me wanting to kill people, right? Listen up. Now is the perfect time for you to clear your mind clutter. Does this sound familiar? You don't take action because of fear. You edit who you are to make people happy or comfortable. You allow your mean girl voice to talk shit and bring you down, and you get triggered and then retreat because you feel depressed. It is now your time to get unstuck, break free of the depression holding you back, feel the fear that comes up for you, but to go for it anyways. In my upcoming Clear Your Mind Clutter Bootcamp, you're going to learn how to take forward action even when you're scared and to live life unapologetically you by showing up as who you are. Change your mean girl voice from stopping you and holding you back to propelling you forward, stepping into your power, and up-leveling you and your life. Plus, shifting you from allowing those things that trigger you and making you want to retreat to fighting for yourself and never giving up on you or losing you again. If that sounds like what you're looking for and you're ready to shift from how things have felt to where you want them to be, it's time for you to join me in my Clear Your Mind Clutter Bootcamp. All you got to do is go to clearmind.soulhealingzone.com. Again, that's clearmind.soulhealingzone.com to get signed up. So I will share that with you. So again, I'm at that 18.6 now. I'm going to go to 19.5 for 2 more weeks. And then in a week, I'll go to 19.5. 2 weeks later after that, I'll go to 24. And then I'm going to hang out in 24 until I decide if I want to go to 1 meal a day or if I want to do any 24-hour fasts. Now, I don't know if this book tells you to step it up like this, like step up your fasting time. I don't even care. I made this all up myself. So every 30 days, though, I add something else. So every 2 weeks, I'm cutting back an hour of eating time. And every 4 weeks, I am adding something. So I just barely rounded 30 days into fasting. And so now I'm adding dancing. And my goal is to dance 3 times a week. And again, it's all about progress. Probably this week I'll get 2 times in. Doesn't matter. It's more than what I'm doing now. I'm not even going to worry about, that my goal is 3 and I got 2. I'm going to be proud of the fact that I got 2 in. So for 30 days, my goal is to dance 3 times a week. And I just queue up a playlist with one of my favorite hip hop dancers on YouTube. And then I just dance back to back to back all the songs that I love. And then that's it, right? So I don't know how many minutes it's going to be because I'm just going to queue up the songs I want to dance to. So some days it might be 30 minutes. Some days it might be like, that doesn't matter to me. It's just about me because I love to dance. It's just about me getting, being able to shake my ass and do something that I absolutely love. So that is what I'm adding at this first 30-day mark. Then my next 30-day mark, remember, I'm cutting back hours that I'm eating and I'm increasing my movement. So at my next 30-day mark, I'm going to do 3 days of dancing, 2 days of walking. So that will be working out 5 days a week at that point. And then at my third 30-day mark, it's going to be 3 days of dancing, 3 days of walking. So I'll have 6 workouts a week and then 1 rest day. With that, my intention is to be at the end of 90 days to 10,000 steps a day. 10,000 steps a day is crazy hard when you work at a desk. So it may seem like, oh my God, I get that done easily. But if you have a lifestyle where you're moving more, that makes sense. Most days I'm lucky to reach 2,000 steps in a day because I am in a sedentary state. So therefore, my goal is at the end of 90 days to be at 10,000 steps a day. So that's what I decided to do for myself so that I succeed at this whole fasting thing. So I succeed to getting to my goal. And I love it because I literally feel no pressure. So that's something else that I want to share here. This whole plan that I've made, I feel 0 pressure. And if I decide to have a snack at 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock, I do not beat myself up. I feel like, holy shit, 6 times in 37 days that I've had a snack during my fasting window. Alicia, I'm so proud of you. To me, that's a success. For me, that's worth me celebrating. Like I'm not beating myself up over that because I am so freaking proud. So remember, hell yes or hell no. Once you're all in, start taking action. Download the Fastic app, get going on your timeline and move forward. So one of the questions you might be asking is or be thinking about right now is, how did you decide what to start with? Well, I noticed a lot in the group that people were on the 16-8 plan, 16 hours fasting, 8 hours eating. And I looked at my timeline for when I get up and I get ready for the day and that sort of thing. And I felt like I could do 16 hours. And I did feel like I was stretching just a little bit because I looked at myself or my day and I thought, when do you normally start eating? And so I normally start eating between 12 and 1. And I used to get up and do like my fiber and, that sort of thing. So that would fill up my belly a little bit. And then I would go into eating between 12 and 1 every day. But that was my eating cycle, which is why I pushed my fasting time or my eating time at 2 p.m. to start at 2 p.m. or push my fasting time to 2 p.m. But if you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and you usually eat breakfast around 10 a.m., probably don't want to push your fasting all the way to 2. You could, however, pull it back to noon, right? You could probably pull it back to the noon because that's pushing a little bit further. Or maybe you're going to pull it back to 11. It's pushing you a little bit further past the 10 when you normally eat, but it isn't putting it right at 10. So that's how I decided when I was going to start. Between that and wanting to be able to eat later, I thought 2 p.m. would be perfect. Because I also knew if I started at 12, I'd be ending at 8. And I was like, oh my God, we eat our snacks between 10 and midnight right now. So I can't do that. So I was like, okay, I'll start at 2. Man, but then that makes me end at 10 p.m. And so I wouldn't be even able to have those snacks at 11 and 12. But I knew I wouldn't be able to start eating at 4. I knew that was too far away. So let me just kind of explain to you what happens as this starts going. So now I do my fiber, my apple cider vinegar, and my collagen right around 2:30. Most times I don't even start at 2. I would say about 95% of the time, I get to quote unquote eating at 2:30. But once I do my collagen, apple cider vinegar, and my fiber, my stomach's full again. So really, at the time that I'm recording this, it's 3:03 and I haven't eaten anything. But really, I could have started eating at 2. So what happens is you're not as hungry. Like things satisfy you longer and you don't have that trigger. The other day, it was a Saturday and we had 2 back-to-back basketball games for Ronan. And I had my morning concoction, again, apple cider vinegar, collagen, and fiber. I had that. It was 2:30. His game started at 3. By the time I had my morning or my food, it's about 3:30. And it was 2 cheese sticks and 5 pieces of honey ham. It was just easiest to do that than bring something else. And that's what I had. And then I didn't eat again until 7. And I wasn't hungry. So I want you to know that your body does adjust, and it adjusts very quickly. So one thing that I noticed when I first started is I had these weird pressure headaches for about 2 weeks. That was my body detoxing. Plus, my stomach was extremely loud from all of the digestion. The other thing that what was I going to say? There was something else. Oh, the other thing that I was going to tell you is everybody wants to know what you eat. What do you eat in your window? Whatever the fuck I want. If it's a cheeseburger, I eat the cheeseburger. If it's a cheeseburger, fries, and a drink, I eat the cheeseburger, fries, and drink. If it is hot wings and mozzarella sticks and fried food, that's what I eat. So during my eating window, I have no restrictions. There are a lot of people that do restrictions. I know my personality, not going to fucking happen. So I eat whatever the hell I want. Last I weighed, I was at a 7-pound loss in that 30-ish day period. But then I went into a no weigh February challenge. And so I weighed about a week ago, and I'm not weighing for the entire month of February until March 1st, and then I'll weigh. So I have no idea where I'm at on weight loss to this moment, but I did lose 7 pounds in my first 30 days. And I can tell you that I should have taken measurements of everything, because even the pictures side by side of a month don't do the justice of how many inches I lost. So in getting started, do your weight, do your measurements, download the app, decide the timeline that you're going to do it, and fucking jump right in. Meanwhile, click the link and grab the collagen if you have any sort of those physical ailments, body aches, those things that are kicking your ass, because it's a rebuild collagen for your bones and joints. The collagen I'm on is not about skin elasticity and that sort of thing, which there is another one that's really great for that. But the one that I'm on is specifically for my joints and stuff. So click the link and check that out as well. And then The other thing is, did I say, so download the app, get the book, check out the collagen, join the Facebook group. But before you like jump in all of that, just decide, what timeline do you want to do? When would you start eating for the day? When would you end for the day? If you notice, like for my mom, she's like, oh, I'm only eating 1 meal a day right now. So you might have think, well, for her, then let's just start her at OMAD. OMAD is the abbreviation for 1 meal a day. So let's just start her at OMAD. No, because the reason why she was eating 1 meal a day was because of how her schedule goes. So what I did was start her at 18:6, because if she was doing like 1 meal in a 20-hour period, I thought, let's see what her body does when she's actually intentionally fasting, and we'll go from there. So I recommended to her to start at the 18:6, 18 hours fasting, 6 hours eating. And what she found really fucking fast was that she could see a difference in how she was hungry. Well, she told me she was eating 1 meal a day, so 18:6, she shouldn't have noticed any hunger starting the fasting. But what happened was she was very intentional of what she was putting in her body when she was fasting, which for me, I only do green tea, peppermint tea, like no sweeteners, no nothing, like straight up peppermint tea leaves, green tea leaves, or water. That's the only thing I have during my fasting time. But when I eat whatever the fuck I want. So she learned really quick that by being intentional about anything she was putting in her mouth during the fasting time, and then that 6 hours eating and cutting off for herself, that she noticed at first she was hungry. However, that hunger quickly turned to energy for her. Probably within 4 days, she went from, focusing on hunger straight to energy. And she's doing some crazy shit that she would never do. She called me up one day and she's like, oh my God, did you have a crazy amount of energy? And I was like, I don't know. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, well, yeah, I definitely went from feeling lazy and not wanting to do anything, like get up, get shit done. It's time to move. Come on, let's go. My attitude shifted behind feeling and acting lazy, right? So she's been doing all of these things. And here's the deal. It is quite common to either stay the same or gain some weight in your first 60 days of fasting, because your body's like, what in the fuck, right? But then it will kick in. So you just stick to it. That's why I say you need to give it 90 days. So I wanted this to be an episode of the podcast because it's been so great for me and something that has been so simple for me to stick to. Not every day has it been easy. Some days I'm like right at fucking 2, just devouring. At the beginning, I would forget my collagen and forget my apple cider vinegar because I was hungry. So right at 2, I'd be eating. And when I say devouring, it wasn't like fast. I guess I would say fast. Yeah. The first couple of weeks, I felt like I was just fucking shoveling my food when 2 p.m. hit. And now that I've like been conditioning my mind and like doing more research on fasting, and now I'm taking that time to ease in. Like today, I've had the collagen, the apple cider vinegar, and my fiber, but now we're to 3:10, still haven't eaten. I am feeling hungry, but I'm not starving. I am ready to eat, but I'm not, I just bit my tongue, dying. So after this, I will eat. And I will eat methodically, like not shoveling in. It'll be slower and I'll be all good to go. Now, because my timeline is getting shorter of when I eat, I'm noticing that when I break my fast, means that's when you eat, I'm either eating something small and then a bigger meal later, or vice versa. I'm eating a bigger meal now and smaller food later. So I'm really only doing like 1.5 meals. I don't feel hungry enough to do 2 full meals. But my body is loving this. It's loving the transformation. It's loving the lesser food. It's allowing it to do what it needs to do and heal the parts of me that it needs to heal. There is so much here. So I'll make sure that it is all linked in the show notes. You can always shoot me a message on Facebook if you have any questions. I am not an expert at fasting, but it doesn't matter. Just following the timeline has worked amazing for me. Inside of the group that I'm going to that I'm going to link in the description of the show notes, there are people doing keto and low carb and all of this stuff along with fasting. And then there's people like me who eat whatever the fuck they want along with fasting. There are people who do one meal a day, and in that one meal a day, they have an appetizer, they have a salad, they have a main course, and they have a dessert, and they're still losing weight. So I want you to know it's like the design that you do with fasting is totally up to you, and the book will help guide you, but I've done so great myself without even using this book. So as I always say, remember, it's all about progress, not perfection. And right now is the time for you to say yes to yourself. Of course, more than you say yes to other people. And always remember to give yourself some grace along your journey. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much for listening to the Soul Fire podcast. I truly appreciate you taking out your time to be here. I would love it if you would subscribe and share. And at the end of each episode, head over to community.soulhealingzone.com. Again, that's community.soulhealingzone.com, and share with me, what was your number one takeaway? What really connected with you? What got your fire lit? What was something that you absolutely loved about this episode? I cannot wait to continue creating more episodes with you, connecting with you, and helping you through this journey on this thing called life. I'll see you later.